The PWHL is back, and no better place to spend this St. Paddy's Day than Boston, Massachusetts, the home of the first place Boston Fleet, who are back on home ice today off that massive comeback win over Montreal on Sunday. In front of a sold-out crowd at Aganis, they take on the Toronto Sceptres. So Boston and Toronto, the first place Fleet and the Sceptres tied for fourth. If they were to get a win here today, all of a sudden Toronto is firmly in the playoff picture and might make a statement for how well they're playing to the rest of the PWHL. Ellis Shelton pinned in deep here for Toronto, and Renata Fast, an excellent defensive pairing to start out for the Sceptres. Big hit along the wall. Here is Mueller, who takes it off for Boston. Flips it back for Keller, but it comes out to center. Boston was in the midst of a change. Abby Newhook comes back in. Big hit for Eldridge right off the get-go, and that's what you want to do as a player. You want to touch the puck, be involved in the play, and make your presence known. Here comes Tapany. Scored that tying goal with the extra attacker on Sunday. Hits Gable, comes through, her shot is blocked. Excellent job by Callie Flanagan to get that block up high. Kirk elects to cover up. Lauren Gable playing her sixth game, all of them since the Olympic break for Boston. Scored that first goal of the third period comeback for the Fleet on Sunday. Corner, Allie Monroe trying to dig it out for Toronto. There's Shepers over there as well for Boston. Finally comes free for Peshava. Hacks it towards the net. Still a rolling puck. Maloney putting good work on it. Got a shot away. The rebound was loose in the slot before it's finally taken away by Jessie Comfort. Good forecheck early in this game for Boston. Not only Maloney, but even on the back pressure, Jamie Lee Rattray lifts the stick. They couldn't quite turn the puck over and go the other way, but again, just that hounding of the puck is what you want to see for the Fleet early in this game. Rattray knocks it in now. Here is John Marcin. Scored an empty netter in the 2-0 win against Seattle. John Marcin now with 3 goals out of the Olympic break for Toronto. And points in all 5 games for the Sceptres, including the win on Sunday. Here's Natalie Spooner. This is whistled here. And we're going to get a penalty early on in this game. Hadley Hartmetz is going to be called for a penalty on Boston.
Boston number 6, minor penalty hooking.
It's a power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Power through tough messes. Can Toronto get their power play going? It's a huge question. Fast fires and missed wide. Zafuto's right there for Boston, and it will come all the way around. Great job for Zafuto, who is in a unique spot up there as a right winger, typically playing defense, but she's so strong, so skilled offensively from the back end. It'll be fun to see her in the forward spot. Here is Renata Fast, 2 quarterbacks, with Shepers the closest to her. And it's Turnbull, who's broken up by Maloney. And there's Maloney, all alone. Maloney stops. Kirk denies the jailbreak chance early. Daryl Watts coming back in with speed. Here is Comfort. Lays it down for Watts. That's Claire Dalton out there as well, but it's back on a Boston stick, and they clear. So this Toronto power play, Gigi, just 9% for the season, 7th in the PWHL. Troy Ryan said, you know, we're almost looking for that game where we get 4 or 5 attempts so we can try to find some kind of rhythm. Just have not really had that at any point this year. And that's so challenging to deal with because you're just kind of going out there 1, maybe 2 a game, it seems like they get, but you're right. It adds to the consistency and the continuity when you have many reps. Malte comes up top for Flanagan. Here is Malte right to the middle. A turning jump by Cutters is knocked down by Franco. Cutters have a lot of space in the slot there. That was a decent look. Malte once again, and it's Spooner. 19 seconds to go on the power play time, and it's out to center. Malte flips it forward. It was too far for Maggie Connors. Malte had a nice game the last time these two teams played back in January. Scored a goal. And we're back to even strength hockey. One shot officially recorded for Toronto on that power play chance. Here comes Jamie Lee Rattray. Stops, hits the trailer. Mueller coming in. It was broken up. Then the follow-up. Keller comes all the way down. Tries to center up somewhere. It squirts free. And Mueller backtracks on it. Wynn tried to use the wall, and then it was skated over, which allows Rattray to get it. It's free for Haley Wynn. Good pressure by Toronto, knocked out to center. And there's a player down behind the play, so they're going to whistle it. It's Rattray in the corner. There's a little slow skating off here for Boston. Rattray did go down the tunnel, so we'll keep an eye on that best we can. Remember, Boston is also down Jill Saulnier today, who is out listed as day-to-day officially in concussion protocol after she was hit in the game against Montreal, which was called for a major penalty. Woods sends it back to the point. Toronto trying to develop offensively, and that is deflected out of play.
They've done a really good job just exiting the zone, as you mentioned, playing within their system and picking up the right player on the back check. That's what Malte did to deflect that Mueller chance earlier in the game. And so you just kind of want them to move the puck a bit quicker because Boston Sticks are very active in disrupting a lot of the plays.
Looked like there might have been a lane for Shelton there at the start of this sequence. There's Turnbull. Flips it in with the backhand. Keller now pushes to center, and Huber with a nice play to get it out. And change ice. They threw it across for Eldridge. Mueller off the wall, slaps that one and missed it wide. Here is Megan Keller once again. There's always that piece when you watch Boston in the offensive zone. They're so willing for their Ds to pinch in that you have to backfill with those forwards on the point like Mueller did right there.
Excellent job filling in, as you mentioned. That third forward really has to be high because of the activation that the Boston D are allowed to take.
Here's Hjalmarsson. Skated over it. It's out to center once again. Broken up the line by Safudo. There's Laura Kluga. Broken up a little bit. Bregman sends it in. Some space now for Toronto, but the pass was underneath the stick of Gentry, and whistled down for icing. Stick there by Savannah Harmon to break it up. Connors now kind of back in for Malte. Trying to squeeze through, but Abby Newhook got a piece of it for Boston.
And that's part of that back pressure that you mentioned with the structure of Boston having the active D. They have to have the third forward high, and Abby Newhook was in an excellent position to disrupt that play.
But even game so far, the one power play opportunity to Toronto. Still scoreless. Kinnan got it forward. There's Monroe. Sends it all the way around. Malte broken up in the neutral zone by Tapani. Couldn't quite get around. Stuck in the neutral zone here for a moment. Vera Van Wieren with some pressure put on by Hubert. This will also be icing actually waved off. Good job by the rookie Kiara Zanin to win the race and negate the icing. Van Wieren for Woods. Wieren again tries to center up for Zanin, got knocked down in the equipment of Woods, and it ends up just squirting wide. Really a dangerous sequence there. But that's all about Zanin winning the race for an icing, as this is played with a high stick. 11:19 remaining in the first. No score. Boston and Toronto.
Also penalty to number 27, Shea Maloney, 18 minutes for hooking, and then penalty minutes 48 seconds. The Fleet's Maloney the player for hooking at 8:48.
There was a penalty called against Boston. Shea Maloney was called. So Toronto gets their second power play attempt of the game, brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Here is Fast along the wall with Rattray putting some nice pressure on, and it allows Sceptres to clear.
Yeah, really good job. Once Sceptres saw the acceleration by Rattray, she knew she could anticipate and also get in the spot to clear the puck.
Here comes Darryl Watts, moving through with some speed and hit the skate of Keller, and Boston clears again. Well, to Troy Ryan's point, here's an opportunity, right? You get that second power play right away. Can you build some momentum off of it? Play back to the point here as Toronto looks to set something up. Flanagan was over there. Here is Callie Flanagan, who winds up and shoots. A save by Franco off a deflection, and it's clear. Hunters whacks it in where Pecheva is back there for Boston. Natalie Spooner now. Works it back for Harmon. Then from the outside, knocked down. Rebound right there. Big save, Franco. It was open on the backside. Spooner had the opportunity, and Franco rising to the moment, as she tends to do. Pecheva clears with just 17 seconds to go on the penalty.
Just a beautiful reaction by Erin Frankel to get over there and stop that play on Natalie Spooner. I mean, the shot up top by Callie Flanagan, really good decision. Traffic in front and created a good rebound.
Malte gives it back for Shelton, moving in, missed high, and over the glove. So 2 shots on goal for Toronto. Now 3 total across their 2 power play attempts. Boston has killed them both, and we're still scoreless with 9 minutes remaining in the first period. Ellen McKinnon back there. Squirts free. Hjalmarsson tried to center up, hacked at it a couple of times before Brandt flips it. That stayed in, but actually it did not. They deflect. They determined it was indeed out of play. Boston the other way. Haley Wynn with a chance. Little deflection try with Huber cutting across. Kirk just got a piece of it. And here come the Sceptres skating back the other way with Turnbull from deep and got a big hit along the wall. Here's Watts from the outside. Might have just gotten a piece of Franco on the way by. Woods knocks it down. But good play by Huber to come and take that right away.
Huber has had really good instincts so far in this game. Just been around the puck. She's using her speed to get to spaces early.
Flanagan had called for a change, so was coming off, so nobody was there. Toronto resets in the back. 7:47 remaining, first period, no score. Sceptres and Fleet on this Tuesday night from a sold-out Agganis. Crowd on hand here on this St. Patrick's Day. Great days of the year to be around Boston, Massachusetts. Newhook tries to get it out. It's knocked down by Fast, but a good pressure from Gable. Gable kind of alone, so shoots from deep. And Kirk, no problem with the glove save. Tries to settle it down and does. Plays it in deep for Sceptres, who knocks it around for Hardmetz. Sceptres comes to the middle, shoots from deep, and a kick saved by Kirk. Knocked down by Rattray. Centers up, Sceptres right there, hit a skate before the shot could get through.
Strong back pressure by Shea Maloney creates this turnover.
And a Brandt now for the Fleet. Brandt plays it right down. Rattray looks to float one to center. Kirk got a piece of it. And then knocks Lobs it back in for Natalie Spooner. Connors flips it out, allows Toronto to change. That's her 6-4 in favor of the Fleet here in this first period. Got it forward. Here is Kluga. He gets Flanagan and Monroe. And certainly throwing some hits around in this game. Here's Eldridge. Nobody home. It's the rookie Emma Gentry. A nice first year for Toronto. Second round pick of the Sceptres this year. They traded their first round pick for Ella Shelton. There's a turnover. Jalmerson here for Shelton. Couldn't get it on goal. Turnbull coming right off the bench. Pinned in and lost the puck.
Just really strong defensive play by Alina Mueller. She saw Blair Turnbull get the puck, cross over. She timed it, hid kind of behind her defender to cut her from being seen. Took the puck away. Really good turnover.
4:55 to go in the first. Still no score. Make your hockey dreams a reality at the PWHL Fantasy Camp in Boston on April 10th and 11th. You'll get time on and off the ice with Boston Fleet coaches and hockey legends, a custom PWHL jersey, plus a ticket to the sold-out TD Garden game. Spots are limited. Visit the PWHL.com to learn more and sign up. Just getting a ticket for that game might be worth it alone.
That'll be such a great
Toughest ticket
game.
in town these days. Connors knocked from behind by Sceptres. Then from deep, the opportunity got knocked down. Comfort plays it back for Shelton. Shelton walking down. That hit a skate of Maloney.
Connors was open backdoor. You can hear it calling for the puck, tapping her stick on the ice, but Shelton just didn't see it in time.
Malte tried to lead Jesse Comfort. So not a ton of great A's in this first period. Maybe that one from the slot and then Spooner on the backside on the power play. One or two are front for Boston, but good defensive hockey so far. Shelvin from deep missed wide. And Bregman knocks it all the way down. Can Gable win a race? Icing waved off. Trying to be dug out. Keller knocks it in. It was Tapany trying to center up. And Harmon get it out. Well, Watts got it forward. And Keller cycles back. 3:19 to go in this first period. Zannon trying to get free. But again, it's Keller. A good spot for Boston.
Strong defensive play right there by Callie Flanagan to force the dump in. Really good gap.
Flanagan, who played her college hockey here in Boston, down the road at BC. And here it. Nice job to get it across. Emma Woods. Feels like the few times we've seen Toronto try for that pass, stretching out a little bit, it's been just out in front a few times. Kept in by Fast. Here's Jalmerson. Nobody home. Trying to center up. Good effort, though, by Emma Gentry to make life difficult. Once again gets to the puck first. Fast over for Ella Shelton. Got it back for Renata Fast, with Sceptres putting some pressure on. Sceptres got a little bit of a hit in.
Really good sustained offensive time by the Sceptres. Just need to bring the puck to the net now after they move.
Here's fast from outside. Franco got a stick on it. Knocked down by Shelton. Comes free. Connors turns and a left pad save by Franco. It's whistled down for icing. I'm not even 1,000% sure Franco saw that, but you know, that's that positioning, right? Which is so structured. Definitely sure she didn't see that, but she got it with the stick. Shelbin now from deep, knocked down. Dalton was the closest Sceptre to it. Kind of got pushed down as the shot got blocked. Here is Kluga off the wall. Sends it back for Pesheva. Makes the move around Dalton, gets it in front. Kirk secures it on the chance from Hannah Brands.
Erin Franco, great look from behind the net as she's trying to locate where the puck is. Finds it at the last minute, able to hit the blocker, move it away, and Hannah Brandt, net front, spinning, trying to find a hole, but Reagan Kirk has been solid in the net tonight.
You made this point earlier, but really good zone time the last 4 or 5 minutes here for Toronto in their offensive end.
And I like the fact that they're taking shots after they move and crisscross up high, because that means there's movement underneath by the fleet, which causes traffic in the middle of the ice, which makes it very hard, as we saw from that angle, on that great replay. It's hard for Erin Franco to see the puck when it's coming from up high like that.
Under a minute remaining in this opening period, which is scoreless between Boston and Toronto. Ellen Huber, though, comes in, and penalties coming up. So Malte is going to be called here with 32.8 to go in the first. And a brief power play coming up for Boston here at the end of period number 1. And here's an interesting wrinkle with the trade for Jessie Eldridge. She jumps right into this first power play unit for Boston. So it's Mueller, Tapany, Wynn and Keller, and Eldridge. Boston came in offside here, 24.4 to go. So far, not much on this Royale Tiger Towel power play for Boston. 12 seconds remaining in the period. Here's Mueller. Goes wide for Wynn. Nice little move around Turnbull. Finds Megan Keller, walks in. It rolled off her stick. And that will do it for period number 1. So a minute and 28 of power play time for Boston is to start period number 2. But that first period was about the defense and the goaltender. Scoreless after 1. So remember, there was the late penalty called against Toronto. So Malte still in the box for a minute and 28 seconds as we start period number 2. We didn't really see Boston get a chance to set up, but as much as we talk about this trade that the Fleet just made, this is really a fascinating aspect of it, right? How does Jessie Eldridge slide into this first power play group, which maybe wasn't scoring at the rate that Chris Barr wanted, but he's talked a lot about the fact that if you look at their expected goals, their chances generated, they've been way up there all season long, even when the puck isn't going in. So now you add an elite player in front in Eldridge, who scored 8 career power play goals. How does that factor in?
Well, absolutely. And just think about, I'm so impressed with her to begin with. She had a really strong first period with all the travel back and forth, the quick change, getting to know new teammates, a new system, and just fitting in and stepping in pretty well.
So here comes Haley Wynn. Sends it around for Tapany. And back for Alina Mueller. Keller digs it out, and it's Wynn once more. 1:03 to go on the penalty time. Keller switches spots with Wynn with some pressure from Daryl Watts. Got a nice hit in along the wall. Eldridge around for Mueller. Tried to play it down low. Tapany got a piece of it. Still alive here for Boston. Here is Wynn walking in. Her shot knocked down. Rebound right there. Eldridge reaching for it. Keller got a swing as well. And it comes out for Wynn once more. Now here's Mueller moving in. Back up top for Wynn. Has Keller on the opposite side, who gives it right back with 33 seconds. Keller winds up and missed wide.
Great action and nice work by the Fleet, figuring out moving the puck around the perimeter to get those chances on Kirk.
So one shot on this sequence. Toronto won both faceoffs on that power play as well. Huge factor. So that does it for the Boston power play time. Officially one shot on goal. And we're still scoreless. Right out of the box, here is Malte. 2-on-1. Malte and Dalton. It slides all the way through the crease. Maybe just waited a half beat too long to get that pass across.
I mean, there's nowhere for her to go with that really solid play, dropping to her belly and taking away that passing lane.
Here's comfort from deep. Save Franco. The rebound was loose. It rolled right off the stick of Allie Monroe. Boston trying to come back in. Here's Gable. Nearly had positioning against Monroe, and she's going to draw a penalty out of it. So Monroe held Gable trying to get in, and Boston will go right back to the power play here early in the second.
It's time for Boston Fleet.
So similar in the first, where Toronto had two power plays in short succession, happens for Boston here to begin the second. Here is Haley Wynn, over for Megan Keller. Now Wynn from deep, didn't get everything on it, and Toronto can clear. It's a Royale Tiger towel power play here for Boston, their second of the game. It's onside for Eldridge, couldn't quite secure possession, and again cleared.
And we talked about passing in the first period, so on that one, Keller gets it and puts quite a bit of heat on it, so it's a little challenging for Haley Wynn to step into it. Such a fast oncoming pass, so you might want to take a little bit off it in that situation.
Tapany works down low. Shelton putting good pressure on Eldridge. Keller keeps it in. Here's Mueller, walks in, trying to slide a slap pass to Eldridge on the backside. Couldn't quite connect on it. A minute gone on this power play time. Keller gets to it again. Here is Mueller. Now Wynn switches spots. Keller winds up a save by Kirk. No screen in front that time, and Kirk could see it clean against the player with the most power play goals in the PWHL. Fast now, shorthanded. 25 seconds to go, gives it for Dalton. It does come out, but precious time coming off. Here's Rattray. Looking for somebody. Wheeler got a piece of it. So again, one shot on that power play for Boston. Just two total on those back-to-back power play chances. Scoreless game here. Over 4 minutes into the second period. Third meeting of the season between Boston and Toronto. Sceptres knocks it in, and Kirk will allow it to play out. And Kluga. And that's out of play. Takeaway by Kluga. On a backhand. Still a rolling puck in the slot. Before it's cleared out to the wall. Here is Zafudo. Now for McKinnon. And over for Bregman. Fires from deep and miss wide. Again, with Saulnier out today, Boston has dressed Olivia Zafudo, who's a defender, as one of their forwards today.
And she's very smart, great offensive defenseman. So it's, you saw it even in the offensive zone, that last shift, just heads up play, move the puck to the open player, able to draw some some pressure out high. They weren't able to capitalize on it, but again, just smart play by Zafudo.
Pass for Shelton. He's got a stick on it. There is Susanna Tapani. It's too far for Newhook. And icing. Looking for an instant conversation starter? The PWHL store has you covered. Wear your favorite team's colors and connect with fans at the game or anywhere else. Grab your official jerseys, hats, tees, bobbleheads, and more at shop.thepwhl.com. This was an easy one today because everybody going for the green out with St. Patrick's Day. Just wear the fleet jersey.
Looks good year-round, I think, but definitely on this day in Boston, as you mentioned, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Out of play, 13:25 remaining in this second period. Each team 0 for 2 on their power play opportunities. Still scoreless.
Welcome back inside Agganis Arena. Still scoreless here in the second period between Toronto and the Boston Fleet. Well, it is scoreless still. One of the players that head coach Troy Ryan said he might be able to look to for a little offensive production recently is Blair Turnbull. Now, she's always kind of been the defensive shutdown type player, but he says she's been able to add a little bit of offense to her game without sacrificing that other side of her game. He said the way that she's been able to do that is instead of trying to play like an offensive player, try to find offense within her game and patience when she does get the puck. He said, honestly, she could be leading the league in scoring if she finished all her chances, but she's certainly taken a step in the right direction. She's tied her season high in points with 11 so far and expected to add on to that as the year goes on. Eric, Gigi, she's taken a step in a good way. Excited to see where she goes.
Yeah, really great stuff, Natalie. Thanks for sharing that. And Blair Turnbull is someone who's so hard to play against. She, as you touched on, she's fantastic defensively. She is rock solid at the dot in her own zone, taking away time and space from opponents, but it's the opportunities she's creating for herself and her teammates in the offensive zone, especially this year. And as coach mentioned, her coach had mentioned, she's leaving a couple off the score sheet as well. She could have found the back of the net a couple times earlier in the season as the season progresses, and so she's done a fantastic job.
Keller, oh boy, that just got a piece of Kirk on the way through. Good luck from Megan Keller. Yeah, there's no doubt that Toronto has needed Turnbull to come on here as they've started to play a little bit better here recently. 6 for 9 at the face-off today. Points in 3 straight games coming in. All of it working well. Intercepted by Eldridge. Couldn't get the initial pass through. Still finds Mueller. Then Eldridge is stopped by Kirk. Face-off win
You're a
for
defensive
Boston.
player.
Yeah, absolutely. Weaver knocks it back.
What hustle by Connors to sprint to the puck to get it and then clear the zone.
Love her name a lot so far. Maggie Connors. Here is Malte. Squirts free and out to center. In the second period are 5-1 in favor of Boston. And some of that is the power play time earlier, so that's whistled down for icing. As you were talking about, they've been especially good on home ice this year. They have not lost. They've only given up 1 point out of what they could have gotten in 6 games.
It's just incredible. I mean, in 6 games, 17 points, whereas double that, almost more than that, they get 22 points. So just really, they enjoy playing in front of their home crowd and here in Massachusetts.
There's a save made by Franco. You know, it is worth noting that as much as, yes, their point per game at home is far more than on the road, they have already exceeded last year's total points on the road. Last year, Boston only had 19 points on the road, which was a league low. They already have 21 points in true road games this year, so even that in itself, which has been exclusively on the road, out of the Olympic break until this game here today. They'll play 3 at home over the next 8 days. Gable knocked down by Gentry. Kirk secures it. Knocked down right in front of the net.
Players kind of pushing back and forth. You almost want to think that will elevate. You hear the crowd route. You just play better and more engaged when the crowd is engaged as well. So maybe that is also something that can jumpstart, because it's kind of back and forth in this period. No one team has taken kind of the reins yet.
Mueller with the face-off win. Here's Eldridge. Nice pass over for Wynn. Hesitates. Their shot deflected up high. Here's Eldridge again. Plays it over for Wynn. Walks it back over for Megan Keller. And we're going to have a penalty going up. They're going to take 2 players at a minimum here. There was some pushing and shoving in front of the net. It's Ella Shelton for Toronto and Ella Huber for Boston.
To the left of your screen, you'll notice Shelton and Huber just keep giving each other shots to the head, or cross-checking each other back and forth.
So matching roughing minors.
Toronto penalty to number 17, Ella Shelton, and Boston penalty.
So 4-on-4 hockey. And here comes Mueller. Getting away from Van Wieren.
9 minutes, 24 seconds.
Wynn and Keller out there. Here's Haley Wynn, who winds up. It's blocked, but not a fast. Key block shot.
Renata Fast has had a fantastic game so far today.
Eldridge onside, but the pass back for Keller. Intercepted by Woods. Here goes Daryl Watts coming through. Goes wide. Woods' chance off the glove of Franco. Watts again, working around her own teammate first, then around Mueller. Watts finds Turnbull right off the bench. And they switch. Turnbull couldn't get it through Wynn. 1:05 to go on the 4-on-4. The hits from Mueller against Daryl Watts. To eventually dislodge the puck. Big hit right in front of the Toronto bench. Eldridge got knocked down. He's tied up with Watts. Tapani working away from Comfort. Flip forward for Maloney. Shea Maloney spins away from Fast. Finds Tapani. Had to settle down the pass first for Maloney. That's the goal line already, with Renata Fast putting good pressure on her. And that will do it for the 4-on-4 time. Shelton jumps right into the play. Here comes Fast. Missed high. Malte kept that in. Numbers for Toronto. Nice passing, but Monroe's attempt was broken up by Peshava. Now Spooner trying to wrap around. And Bregman, the rookie, was in a good spot. Here's Malte. Knocked it down in the slot. Tried to go to the wall. Gable right there. Starts it forward for Rattray. Look at the speed of Gentry to get back.
Yeah, that back check by Gentry was just awesome. I mean, Rattray had a full couple steps ahead of her, and Gentry just put up the extra afterburners and caught up.
And a penalty here is going to be a slash called against Boston. Callie Flanagan's stick got knocked out by Rattray. So Toronto will go back to the power play. We return to Aganis. Well, step one for Chris Sparr's team is the penalty kill, as Toronto will go to the power play for the 3rd time. There's a slash on Rattray.
Yeah, just a simple call for the ref to make, as obviously Flanagan's stick comes out of her hands, and so Rattray will go to the box. And we're going to see another look at this Toronto power play, which Coach Ryan had said would like to stack some power plays up back-to-back in a game to get some more comfortability.
So it is a Royale Tiger Towel power play for Toronto. Their third of the game. Comfort. They're working back for Daryl Watts, who couldn't hold the line. Three shots on goal so far in the first two power play attempts for Toronto. Watts for Dalton. Trying to flip it down for Turnbull. Comes hard off the boards, but it ends up free for Boston. Sceptres gets it forward. Maloney's got another chance, and stopped again. And Kirk got the follow as well on Sceptres. Two cracks at it on the jailbreak.
What a save by Kirk. That was outstanding. Her ability to, again, to just stay on top of the crease and come out and challenge. And the burst by Maloney, her speed is fantastic.
So Boston now has as many shorthanded shots as Toronto has shots on goal on their power play so far. Maloney had two of them. 44 seconds remaining on this penalty. Here's Malte, flips it to the corner. Megan Keller right there for Boston, but it's held in by Harmon. Oh, there's open wide, and up high, Franco is safe. Rebound, she stopped it, and the follow by Harmon missed wide. Connors with the initial attempt, and Franco says no. Now Harmon once more from deep, knocked down in front. Loose puck still, knocked to the side by Keller. 10 seconds to go on the penalty. Another one comes in up high on Franco. She's able to fight it off again. Good work by Franco. Now right after the box, here comes Boston. As Sceptres tried to get behind. The Sceptres back the other way with Malte. Connors has really created some good chances with Toronto Sceptres today, and fires here looking for a tip. Franco came way out. Spooner was the one in front for the Sceptres. Knocked down by Renata Fast. And played in 5:16 remaining in this second period. Turned over, Fast, looking for a tip, saved by Franco. Rebounds loose, Gentry comes in. Franco doesn't have a stick, and still is making saves! Puck is still alive. Gentry tried to come around. Sceptres was there on the backside. What can't the Green Monster of Boston do?
Wow, what an incredible sequence. And on both of those, Alina Mueller backdoor with the stick also to create some help and alleviate some pressure.
Couple of hacks at it against the pad with Franco missing her stick. Here is Dalton. It's a 2-on-1 for Toronto. Dalton feathers it across, but couldn't connect with Turnbull. Dalton once again. Tapani breaks it up.
Another great defensive play by Bregman, coming down on a 2-on-1. It's her second in the game. Drops through belly, takes away time and space, and really forces the errant pass.
Luga nearly broke that one up. And Gable plays the backhand in. 3:51 to go in the second. A scoreless game. It's whistled down. Here is Maloney. We're in over there for Toronto. Hubert, Sheldon. Eldridge comes up with it. Here comes Wynn, moving in. Glove save, knocked down by Kirk. Huber again from the wall. Tried to center up. There is Megan Keller. Looking to get it to the middle, broken up well by the Sceptres. Abby Newhook pushes it back in. Tapany knocks it down. Good effort by Jesse Comfort to get it out. Then a diving opportunity by Kiera Zanin. And Boston's able to knock it back the other way. That was untouched. But icing waved off. And Brandt against Shelton. This time it is whistled. 2:04 remaining in the second. Chris Barr mentioned it to Natalie. Just like a lot is going on in front of the nets right now. Feels like it's going to be one of those greasy goals if somebody's going to break through today.
And lately, in the past maybe 5 to 10 minutes, Toronto's done a really good job getting a body almost right on top of Aaron Franco and really creating chaos.
Another icing here. Again, the Fleet 6-0 on home ice this year. The only point they dropped was in that final game before the Olympic break against the Sirens, which they ended up winning in a shootout. Turnbull flips it forward. And is the next one to touch it as well. Monroe and Peshava. Now Dalton. Rolled off her stick. Flanagan, though, was still right there. Patrick couldn't get it out. Malte right off the bench finds Watts. A little fake and a save by Franco. Denying Daryl Watts. That was almost danger time for Boston as that puck did not get out. And Watts had a great look. Here's Flanagan. That got deflected before it could get on goal. Eldridge now intercepted again. Malte gives it back for Comfort. Her chance, gloved down by Franco. Face off one all the way out of the zone. Here's Shelton. Lost an edge. Ends up going right into the boards. Pressure, and it's brought out. 16 seconds to go in this second period. Stuck in the corner for the final seconds of period number 2. Good, tight, physical hockey game here in Boston, and we are still scoreless after 2 periods. So the first place Boston Fleet at 39 points, and the Toronto Sceptres 28 points, tied for 4th. With a win today, would they be sending a statement to the rest of the PWHL? If they were to win today, it would be points in 6 games in a row. They'd be in playoff position with just 8 games left. That is the one thing, if you look at the standings. Toronto has played more games than anyone else, so everybody does have games in hands against them. Start turning our attention towards that playoff conversation more and more as we go down the stretch here over the next little over a month. The end of the regular season. Knocked down by Alina Mueller. Shelton lost her stick throwing a hit against Huber. Renata fast. Broken up well. Eldridge makes a nice play. Finds Mueller. Gives it back for Eldridge. Tried to set her up. Nobody home. But then eventually Kirk comes diving out and stops Megan Keller. Face-off win. Here's Maloney. Got knocked down before it could get through to goal. Shepherd's lost her stick. Sceptres. As Kluga and Maloney. Nice play by Kluga. Picks it up in cycling. Finds Hartmetz. It got knocked down. Tapani got a stick on it first. Hartmetz gets it forward for Gable. Kirk into her catching mitt. Delvin plays the backhand. Connor's got a piece of it. Boston trying to put pressure on in their offensive end. Scoreless game on this Tuesday night. Keller back to get it. Here's Hannah Brandt. Forward for Rattray. Good play by Fast. Knock her off. Win again, moves it for Keller. Back up top for Win. Gentry the closest to her. Win still on it towards the net, got knocked down up high. I think that you're seeing a lot of these blocks, GG, have been pretty far out, right? Pretty close to the shooter. Stuff is just not getting through right now. You have to... Your Troy Ryan pretty happy with the commitment to the structure. Can they stay with it? Here's a chance for Mueller. And again, no problem for Kirk. That's 50 consecutive saves made by Reagan Kirk.
You see Alina Mueller, two players are drawn to Huber as Huber moves to Mueller for the quick shot. I really like how she doesn't stick handle. No dust, just rip it.
Oh, it squirts free. Mueller whacks at one and missed wide. Here is Pesheva, fires from deep, and it skips into the glove of Kirk. Well, on the one hand, we're talking about Toronto's structure, but it's been a lot on this end of the ice to start this third period.
Yeah, it seems very similar to the way that the Fleet started their first period, coming out, using their speed, using their stick to take away time and space, and it's that second rush coming on the ice.
Here is Sceptres. Spins back for Wynn. Wynn towards the net. Deflected off Monroe. Hit by Kluga. Keller keeps it in. Here's Maloney. Slides for Wynn. That's still in. Wynn looking for a tip, with Sceptres coming across. Now Keller once again. Over for Wynn. Wynn towards the net again. That was blocked. Rebound loose for Maloney and a kick save made by Reagan Kirk. Boston's going to start to change their forward groups. Long time at this end of the ice to begin period number 3. Here's Comfort trying to change ice.
And even looking at the zone, there's not many skate marks in the defensive zone for Boston. All the skate marks and the stops and starts and the sprays are coming from the offensive zone for the Fleet.
Here's Harmon, plays the backhand in. Maggie Connors trying to center up with a backhand for Comfort, but Tapani read it well. All 4 shots of this period to Boston before that one. As Franco knocks it down, oh, Malte came in. Franco hadn't quite gotten her stick fully on it, but it does end up missing wide. Little danger moment there, and Malte nearly took advantage.
Smart play about Malte. And that's something where you see a goaltender catch the puck, you think they're just going to hold on to it and not move it. And so you peel off. She stayed going to the net and kept her feet moving.
Gentry's shot is stick down by Franco. 6 minutes. In the third, a wraparound attempt. Franco secures it. So all of a sudden, after all that time on one end, Toronto creates 2 or 3 good chances. And again, Franco equal to them all.
Little dumping, turns a little chaotic as Emma Malte comes in to try to find the back of the net, but 0-0 at Aganis.
A little under 14 minutes to go in this game, and we are still scoreless between Boston and Toronto. In a tight game like this, you look to your leaders, your captains, and your coach for their leadership to get you through this. Now, of course, Chris Spar is someone that we have knows how to push his team, press the right buttons in the moments that they need. We talked to Abby Newhook the other day after their comeback win over Montreal. She said, Spar told us on the bench, believe in yourselves, just get one and go from there. She said, since day one, he set the tone. We won't be outworked. We will be the hardest team to play against. He knows when to let us rest, when to push us. She really enjoys his style and just how he understands what this team needs, Eric Gigi.
I think there's no doubt, right, that sometimes we throw all these buzzwords around, right, like the culture you're creating, the identity you're trying to build in the team. It's just not only just because of the results on the ice, which obviously is a nice side of it, but it's felt like he's pushed a lot of right buttons. Turnbull shot block, follows up. Oh, great kick save, Franco. And it's centered up, it's loose. Watts works it back for Shelton. She waits, Shelton shoots, another save by Franco. Eldridge tried to knock it out. Finally, Keller settles it down. Putting Franco in net's been a correct button to push as well for Chris Spar all year.
Yeah, the luxury of having a player like Erin Franco and the caliber that she plays with. It'd be interesting to see, I think, if I was a Toronto Sceptre coming in, a lot of these perimeter shots, I'm thinking shooting higher. A lot of them have been low and haven't seen many deflections and a lot of pad saves by Erin Franco. Sometimes when there's the traffic net front, she crouches down, shoot one up high, see what you can get.
That, perhaps. That one. Both goaltenders have been outstanding tonight. Can anybody get one by? It's happening. Forcing it in deep against Monroe.
Great face-off play. Tapney wins the draw. Defenders just flip it, and the 2 wings fly the zone.
One hopped out offside.
And that goes back to the culture, right? I mean, ever since the beginning of the season, their belief in one another, their belief in the way the coaching staff is asking them to play, and the buy-in is just incredible. And you touched on it, and you basically said it. Like they looked up and down the bench, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when we're going to get those next couple of goals.
So here is fast now as Toronto tries to continue their momentum after a couple of really good scoring chances here in this third period. Malte. One over there for the Sceptres. Not only squirts out, but it's win on it first for Boston. There's got a piece of that. Here's Watts. Daryl Watts has Turnbull in front. Watts coming through, and they score! Daryl Watts sneaks it through Franco, and Toronto has a 1-0 lead.
Really good neutral zone play by Callie Flanagan. She gets the puck and doesn't hesitate. Moves it up ice. Daryl Watts gets it. And look at how she cuts. She cuts to the left. That gives her separation. And like a good goal scorer does, she shoots against the grain. opens up the legs, able to find it. It looks like it hits that far post, and then Corral goes in. And so really smart play. Awesome job all around for the Sceptres to get on the board and put their team up 1-0.
So Daryl Watts with their 8th goal of the year. And Toronto strikes first. They have a 1-0 lead. 11:01 to go in this third period. That is built off of a couple of really good shifts adding up in a row, like you talked about there for the Sceptres.
Yeah, they had a lot of strong offensive zone pressure. Their D even engaged in the play, and they kept the puck, bringing the puck to the middle of the ice.
And we're going to get a holding penalty here called against Blair Turnbull behind the Boston net. So it's a Royale Tiger Towel power play for Boston, their 3rd of the game. Remember, they had 2 in a quick sequence, one late in the first period, most of it early in the second, and then just like 30 seconds after that, they got another one. 2 total shots. One of the big reasons why was Toronto won basically all of the face-offs on Boston's power play time. Watts comes in, throws a nice hit against Wynn. Keller still with it though. Leaked down a goal. Tapani with some speed, tried to center up for Mueller. Good read by Shelton, but Eldridge does a nice job and keeps it in. Here is Wynn off the pass from Keller, and Keller once more from Wynn. They trade spots. The rookie Wynn for Keller, back up top. As Mueller, now it's Wynn once more for Keller. Winds up, but it missed wide. Shelton was there on the backside. Dug out for Wynn once again. Over Keller, winds up again, and a glove save by Kirk. So, Boston power play. Here's Tapani moving in. Off the timeout, the save made by Kirk. Boston didn't score the power play in that game, but did score 2 extra attacker goals. Win back for Tapani. Works it down low for Mueller. Now Tapani comes in, another save. Squirts to the wall, 45 seconds to go on the power play time. Here is Wynn, over Keller's shot, tipped wide. Shelton got a piece of it for Fast. Got it ahead for Malte, but Boston takes it away, but a good play by Malte to force that out of the zone. Eldridge hit from behind. That is onside as it's in here. Couldn't connect with Sceptres. Sceptres works it back for Bregman. And over for Megan Keller, still out there. Back for Bregman. She moves in. That got knocked down. Keller's been out there the whole way. Gives it back for Bregman. And Keller again. Hits the trailer. Kluge comes in, deflected high with Maloney in front. Sceptres clear. Here comes Turnbull right out of the box. Just eluded her, but we're back to even strength with 8:35 to go in the third, and Toronto with a 1-0 lead.
Strong penalty killing by Toronto. A couple movement by great plays by the Fleet. A nice backdoor play, but ultimately Toronto did a really good job moving the puck, keeping the puck out of harm's way.
Here is Fast. Tried to play it across, it was knocked down, and then Hjalmarsson works it back for Gentry. Her chance from the outside, missed wide, looking to get a tip from Fast in front. Natalie Spooner comes around, and that just missed wide. Not a Fast again for Spooner. Fires from deep, couple of tips on the way through, but it ends up behind the net. And there is Pesheva for the Fleets. Malte gives it back. Connor's in, blocked. Connor's second effort hit the side of the net. Flip to center. Monroe knocked it down, but ends up for Hubert. Plays it in. Boston will change. 7:23 to go in the third. Toronto with a 1-0 lead. And that is whistled down for icing.
Next ensuing shifts.
Here's Megan Keller. It's back for Abby Newhook. Squirts right in front. Couple of hacks at it off the pad of Kirk. And finally the whistle. with 7:03 to go in this third period. Physical game between Boston and Toronto.
There's a look at the goal scorer as she cuts across, shoots against the grain, is able to put her team up 1-0.
Well, she's got to find a way to bring at least a goal for Boston as they trail by 1. Toronto has 8 of the last 12 shots on goal in this third period after Boston had the first 4. It's really felt like you could take the first 5 or so minutes of each period so far and take that out. It took about that time for Toronto to get going. Then they found their game in each of these periods, and I think played an extremely good game today. Takes out one for Boston. Hardmetz is tied up with comfort. Tapany got it over, gets it back. Tapany trying to get something back over for Mueller. Then Kirk goes diving for Keller's chance, which missed wide and comes all the way out. Here's Mueller again. Maloney's out there now. Pass was too far ahead of her. Turnbull comes back. Here's Maloney, taken away though by Watts. She will reset in the neutral zone. The goal scorer, Darryl Watts. Broken up. Here's Mueller. Looking back against Flanagan. As Keller as well, slides it over, Bregman. She tries to get a tip with Keller in front, couldn't connect on the pass.
Couple really good looks by Alina Mueller. You see her patience and poise with the puck at work.
Sceptres ends up coming back for Bregman and rolled off her stick. Hjalmarsson couldn't quite get it out. Final 10 seconds of this 4-on-4. Pejima and Hjalmarsson into the Toronto end. Back to 5-on-5 hockey with 5 minutes to go in the third period. A 1-0 lead for the Toronto Sceptres on Darryl Watts' third period goal. Puck battle fast and Gable. Tapany comes away with it. Back for Megan Keller. Keller slides for Hartmetz. And Keller one more time. Keller waiting, her shot blocked by Hjalmarsson. Big hit on Huber. Hartmetz again towards the net. Kirk just got a piece of it. Then Tapany was trying to get it back for Rattray and overskated it. Here is Rattray. Works it down for Gable. Tries to set her up. Just couldn't quite hit Maloney. Out of zone time here for Boston, but that comes out. There is Zanin now. Hits the trailer, Monroe. Monroe shot up high. A save by Franco. Pejima pushes it to the corner. 3:31 to go in the third period with Toronto up by 1. Flanagan now. Win is over there. Maloney as well. And flips it to center. Here's Watts. Watts got around with Wynn losing her footing. Watts couldn't get the shot all the way through. Then Dalton centers up and Turnbull came in on a backhand, which just missed wide. Renata fast again from deep, and a tip try in front from Dalton. Then it's Shelton centers up. Franco got a stick on it. 2:45 to go in the third. That's all the way down, and it's icing. 2:39 remaining in the third. That is kept in, and Rattray got hit awkwardly and is a little bit slow to get up for Boston. There's Peshava, and here for Rattray. Wynn finally gets it to center. Sceptres finds Mueller, switching with Tapany. Mueller couldn't get the shot through. And Malte comes out for Toronto. 2:07 to go in the third period. Here is Connors back into the back end. It's blocked by Keller. Over for Shelton. And the Shelton along the wall. Spins and tries to play a backhand. A tough angle save made by Franco. Shelton again, 1:46 to go in the game. Toronto's keeping it in here. Boston can't even think about pulling the goalie for the moment as Franco makes another save. Mueller comes and allows your team to reset. Maloney just after coming in. Franco's still in the net for now. 1:27 to go in the third. Toronto up by 1, and Franco coming right now. Empty net for Boston with 1:20 to go in the third period, down by 1. Flip to center, Wynn can't hold it. Couldn't quite reach it. Boston tags up as Wynn comes back in. Here is Mueller. Slides for Megan Keller. And now here's Wynn once again. For Keller with a minute to go in the third. Boston needs to find one. Mueller works down low for Eldridge, trying to set her up. Nobody home on the back end of it. Bailey Wynn once again fires. A save made by Kirk, and it's knocked right up in the air. Newhook now, 43 seconds to go in the third period. Wynn plays it down for Mueller. And now it's Wynn. Over Keller on a one-timer. Blocked up high by Monroe. Hacked back, Turnbull's on it for the empty net. Scores! Blair Turnbull scores the empty netter. Toronto by 2 late in the third.
Really good job by Toronto to keep the puck out of their net, and a lot of that credit goes to Monroe with their huge save, blocking the shot. As you see, the puck gets then out into the neutral zone, and Blair Turnbull just finds the empty net, hits it dead center to be able to put her team up 2-0.
Well, the Toronto Sceptres, who going into the Olympic break had lost 7 of 8 games, but they have come out of break as, frankly, a totally different team. And a face-off win for Toronto. Harmon from the outside, that got knocked down. And in a third period where Boston got off to a nice start, had the first 4 shots, but the Sceptres stay with it. Watts and Turnbull get the goals, and the Sceptres say, don't forget about us. Toronto into playoff position, and a 2-0 shutout win here in Boston. Appreciate the great work of our entire crew, our producer Casey Carter, director Tim DeRoyan. For Natalie Norrie, Gigi Marvin, I'm Eric Galanti saying so long from Aganis. Again, your final, Toronto 2 and Boston 0. Thanks for watching another edition of the PWHL.